Have you ever been told, you are good for nothing? Have you ever felt like no matter how hard you try, your family only sees you as a failure? If so, then this story is for you. Imagine a boy who grew up in a house where every word spoken to him was a reminder of his shortcomings. No matter what he did, it was never enough. But one day, he decided he had enough. He was going to prove them wrong. Ayan was 18 years old, living in a small town with his parents and 2 elder brothers. Unlike them, who were excelling in their studies and securing high-paying jobs, Ayan struggled with academics. Every report card was a disappointment, every exam a nightmare, and every conversation at the dinner table a painful reminder that he was not like his siblings. "You'll never amount to anything," his father would say with a sigh. His mother, though a little softer, would still shake her head in disappointment. His brothers didn't even bother hiding their smirks. At first, Ayan tried. He studied late into the night, forced himself to memorize formulas he didn't understand, and even joined extra coaching classes. But when the results came, the marks were still the same. The taunts didn't stop. The breaking point one day, after another argument at home, Ayan stormed out. He walked aimlessly through the streets, frustration and anger boiling inside him. Why was he like this? Why couldn't he be good at anything? Was he really destined to be a failure? As he sat on a park bench watching people go about their day, his eyes landed on a group of boys playing football. He had always loved football, but in a house where academics were the only measure of success, his passion was never encouraged. That night, as he lay in bed, a thought struck him. What if he stopped trying to fit into the mold his family had set for him, and instead carved his own path? The journey begins. The next day, Ayan did something he had never done before. He signed up for a local football club. He wasn't the best player on the field, but he had something others didn't: determination. While others practiced for an hour, he stayed for 3. When others went home, he watched videos, studied techniques, and improved his game. At home, his family barely noticed his absence. Or if they did, they assumed he was wasting time somewhere. No one believed he could achieve anything worthwhile, so they didn't care to ask. Months passed, and Ayan's skills grew. He became faster, sharper, more strategic. One day, the club coach approached him. "There's a state-level selection happening next month. I think you should try out." The first real test. The day of the trials arrived. Standing on the field, surrounded by skilled players, Ayan felt out of place. Doubts crept into his mind. What if they were right? What if I'm not good enough? But then he remembered the taunts, the laughter, the dismissive looks. He wasn't just playing for himself. He was playing to prove a point. The game began, and Ayan played like his life depended on it. Every pass, every kick, every movement was fueled by years of frustration and suppressed ambition. When the match ended, his name was among those selected. With the selection came opportunities. He trained harder than ever, pushing his limits daily. Soon, he was traveling to different cities for matches, making a name for himself. His family, however, remained oblivious. One evening, as he returned home from a major tournament, a local news channel aired his interview. His mother watched in disbelief as the reporter announced, "Meet Ayan, the young footballer who has taken the state by storm." His father's expression was unreadable, but his brothers sat in stunned silence. The following week, he received a call from a national-level coach offering him a spot in an elite training program. It was a dream come true. But before leaving, he had one last thing to do. Gathering his family in the living room, he showed them his medals, certificates, and the offer letter. For years, you all told me I was a failure. Today, I stand before you as someone who refused to accept that. For the first time in his life, his father had nothing to say. His mother wiped away silent tears, and his brothers finally looked at him with respect. Ayan left for the training program, not just as a footballer, but as a warrior who had fought against the odds. He had proven that success isn't about fitting into someone else's expectations. It's about finding what you love and dedicating yourself to it. So if anyone ever tells you that you're not good enough, remember Ayan's story. Success isn't about where you start. It's about where you choose to go. And you? What will you choose?